Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Pastor David Harrelson. Hey, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about Men of Valor. We're doing this, it started February the 8th, and we are continuing it into the month of March. And I'm just doing a little bit of self-promotion right here. I'm going to be, it's going to be my turn to talk at Mighty Men of Valor on February the 29th. That's Thursday, February the 29th, 7 p.m. My topic is going to be called Tender Warrior. And I couldn't really think of a better way to set this up than a song that I had recently heard. It's done by an artist called Dax. And some of you may not have ever heard of Dax. You may not be familiar with his music, but he's a really powerful and inspirational artist. He does some pretty deep songs that usually have a lot of meaning behind them. And he did a song recently called To Be a Man. And it goes so perfectly in line with the Tender Warrior topic that I'm going to be speaking on. And so I'm going to try something a little bit different. There's something that's kind of been popular on YouTube and TikTok lately. It's called the reaction video. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a little bit of the song To Be a Man by Dax. And then I'm going to pause it and talk a little bit about it and maybe relate some of the lyrics over to what we're going to talk about at Mighty Men of Valor. So without any further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and start that right now. Here we go.
I can't hide myself. I don't expect you to understand. I just hope I can explain what it's like to be a man.
Okay, right there. Most of you that are men, especially if you're married and have kids, you knew as soon as this song started and you saw the guy out in the driveway in the pickup truck trying to hide his emotions, trying to get his situation together before he went in the house. A lot of you could relate to that. I know I can. And so there's something stirring in this man, and you know that he's trying to pull his faculties together before he has to go inside. So let's continue it.
It's a lonely road, and they don't care about what you know. It's not about how you feel, but what you provide inside that home. Yeah, I know this life can really beat you.
It's going to be difficult for me to get through this, but it's important. It's not about how you feel. It's what you provide inside that home. A lot of men feel that way, a lot. And I think that's why this song was written. It's probably why it's having such an impact worldwide. It's not about how you feel. It's what you provide inside that home. As men, we are competitive creatures. We feel obligations deeply, and we do our best to try to fulfill those obligations. And unfortunately, sometimes that becomes our identity, just our ability to fulfill those obligations. I heard one time there was a guy talking about how men greet themselves. It's usually like this. Hi, my name's David. What's your name? And the very next question, inevitably, almost 100% of the time when men meet each other for the very first time, it's, what do you do? Now, what do you do is, there's nothing inherently wrong with what do you do, but it's really the context of what's really meant behind that question. Okay. Men as competitive creatures are asking, what do you do, so that they can get a measurement of what kind of a provider are you? How much money do you make? Now they're not asking that question directly, but it is indirect question, because you can kind of tell from what a guy does or where a guy works, you can kind of get a feel of how you might measure up compared to this other guy. That's just what guys do. And it's kind of how we've been programmed. And I'm not saying it's good or bad. It's probably bad, but you know, it's just what guys do. And so that's why this song is so real, because it's talking about what guys feel, what guys do. It's so real. So let's go back to it here.
You wanna scream, but you won't make a sound. Got so much weight that you've been holding, but won't show any emotion. As a man that goes unspoken, that we can't cry when life gets hard. Unconditional loves for women, children, and dogs.
Okay. Can't cry when life gets hard. Unconditional love is for women, children, and dogs. Men are not on that list. Unconditional love, we don't feel like unconditional love belongs to us. We don't feel like we don't feel like we're deserving of unconditional love. Really. I mean, when it comes right down to it. Again, it comes back to that identity. The only thing that matters is what I provide inside that home. It shouldn't be that way. But a lot of guys feel that way. I would say all guys feel that way at some point. And unconditional love should be for men too. It really should. Let's just go back.
We know that we just have to play our parts, and don't nobody give a damn about our broken hearts. Yeah, as a man we gotta pave our way. Our only function is to work and slave. There's no respect for you if you ain't paid. You're disregarded as a human and you can't complain. And if you...
Okay, I gotta say something right here. Your only function is to work and slave. You're disregarded if you don't get paid. Society has programmed men to feel that way. If you're a man and you're the provider in your household, I guarantee you've felt that way. You may feel that way right now. It's not your only function, but because society programs us to feel that that's our only function, and there's no respect and unless we're getting paid, that's a perfect opportunity for the enemy to come in and just whisper lies in your ear. You know, the only reason why you're here is your paycheck. And if you're not bringing home a paycheck, then somebody else will. That's how men feel sometimes. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm not blaming kids. I'm not blaming wives. I'm just telling you, this is how men feel sometimes. And so, what do we do about it? Well, we'll get into that in the teaching on February 29th. And till then, I want to go back to this song. Here we go.
Ever make it up and actually reach that place and find a woman that you love and give her your last name? You'll feel the things that you provide is only why she stays. And when you try to explain, you'll say, I can't hide my...
Wow. When you finally give a woman your last name, you feel the things that you provide is the only reason why she stays. Again, irregardless of what happens to make a guy feel that way, it's true that a guy can feel that way. It's very true. We went over this morning in youth. We did this exact same thing, actually, very similar. I didn't do the reaction myself, but actually I did. We looked at it a little bit and then we talked about it. And one of the girls in the class asked me, she raised her hand and she said, what can we do? What can we do as women when we get married? What can we do as women so that we're not making guys feel that way? And I said, I can tell you what not to do. I can't really, maybe it's probably different what to do, but I can tell you what not to do. Don't only compliment the guy about what a good provider is. Now, it's okay to compliment the guy about him being a good provider. That's cool once in a while. But if the only compliment the guy ever gets is, man, you're such a good provider. You just take such good care of your family and me. And, you got me a nice car. You got me a nice house. You make sure the bills are paid. That's nice to hear. But if it's the only compliment you ever hear, then how are you not supposed to feel like that's the only reason why you stay? How are you not supposed to feel like that's the only function that you play in this family is a paycheck? Now, I didn't get mad at her at all. I was proud of her for asking the question. But I think oftentimes, people they're trying to do the right thing and tell you what a great provider you are and what how well you take care of everything. But if there's not other compliments other than that, if that's the only compliment that a man hears, then he feels like that is the only thing he is good for. Period. Here we go.
I don't expect you to understand. I just hope I can explain what it's like to be a man. It's a lonely road, and they don't care about what you know. It's not about how you feel, but what you provide inside that home. Don't give up, keep fighting. As a man, our sun is our horizon, and our father's actions play a role, and we end up like them. So they can't let us see them hurt, because we'll embody what they do and start a generational curse. No wonder most...
Woo. Man. You got a dude looking at bills, man. Looking at past due notices. Who knows what's going on? Maybe the dude just lost his job, He's got kids. He's got young men that he's raising. And they're coming and they're saying, Dad, come play some ball with us. Spend some time with us. And he's trying to make a decision. Let the house get foreclosed on? Let the cars get repoed? Or go outside and play some ball. That's the definition of a rock and a hard place. And we're there a lot. A lot. Man, this song is so real.
And they're so depressed, all the things that they can't express. They go to war, get thrown on the shelf, then go back to war with their mental health. Then grab that bottle and ask for help, try to pull themselves out of hell, then fall back down and then realize that they're gonna have to do it themselves. It's the same.
Okay, I'm gonna try to get myself together. They go to war, they get put back on the shelf. They come back home to a war with their mental health. They fall down in a hole and realize ain't no one going to pull them out but themselves. That's real. That's real. How many veterans feel that way every day? I go to war, I did my job. I come back home, I get put on the shelf because, civilian life is different. I get put on the shelf. And then I go to battle with my own mental health. And it puts me in a hole that nobody is pulling me out of. I realize the only one that's going to get me out of this hole is myself. How many men are right there, right now? Brother, if that's you, please come to Mighty Men of Valor, God Shining Light, February 29th. We're going to talk about this real stuff. We're going to talk about it.
Circle of life, as a man you provide. They don't know what you're worth till the day that you die, and that's when they start crying. Then move on to a man to confide. That's why we feel we can't hide ourselves.
All right. I'm sorry to keep stopping so often, but man, every stinking word of this song is dropping bombs. Every word. They don't know what you're worth until the day that you die. Till the day that you die. They do not know what you're worth until the day that you die. And then what do? They run to another man to confide in. Wow. Somebody's been there. Whoever wrote this song has been there. They probably, like me, they probably watched their dad pass away. And oftentimes I think it's true. I think dads, husbands, and fathers, their true worth, their true value isn't recognized until they're dead. And then who do those people go run to confide in? A pastor. Their friends, the dad's friends, other men. You need to go let them know how valuable they are now while they're alive. It's really important. I had an opportunity to do that with my father before he passed away. And I'm so glad. I'm so glad.
We don't expect you to understand. We just hope we can explain what it's like to be your man. It's a lonely road, and you don't care about what we know. It's not about how we feel, but what we provide inside that home. Inside that home. That home. It's not about how we feel, but what we provide.
Well, I want to invite you to Mighty Men of Valor, February the 29th. I'm going to be speaking on Tender Warrior. This is Pastor David. Come and join me February 29th, God Shining Light, 7 p.m.